Am I streaming? Am I live? Let's see. Once upon a time, I looked to see if maybe I was alive. Done, maybe? If I hit that. Stream updated successfully. Testing, testing. Let's see. If I go to my Twitch app and see if I'm actually live. It looks like I'm live. My channel. No, I'm a dummy. Creator dashboard. That's where I'm going. Okay. Stream manager. Duration. Okay. Cool. And let's see. Testing, testing. Okay, now I'm going to go to the internet and see if I can't figure out if I am streaming or not, like myself. So I have a brand spanking new setup. I am streaming with OBS, and I am trying to see if this is all functional. And then once I figure out if it's functional, then we will start blacksmithing. So let's see here. Enter. Functioning a bit of an echo. That is not entirely surprising to me because I am running on-camera sound as well as my microphone sound. I'm not entirely sure how to deal with that, so I apologize. But welcome into the stream. Thanks for joining me. Howdy, howdy, welcome in. Welcome, welcome. I'm just signing into my Google account so that I can see if everything or like how everything is working and stuff. So yeah, I have a brand new setup. So this is camera 1 and then this is camera 2, I believe. Let's see if that actually flipped cameras. It did it. Okay, so there's camera 1 and it looks like camera 2 went to sleep. Let's see about that. Okay, so now I have camera 2. Maybe? Okay, so now I have to hit record on that one. Is that working? It says it's working. And then I have to hit record on that one so I can get my clean audio. All right. So yeah, we have a brand new setup. Camera 1, camera 2. So we've got an anvil camera. And yeah, I've got all kinds of lovely new equipment that I'm trying to make work. So hopefully it's starting to work on it for us. So yeah, I'm kind of in the middle of setting this up and testing everything at the same time. So welcome in, everyone. Thank you for coming. We will get started shortly. I'm glad the cameras look good. They should look good. They are DSLRs. So previously I was streaming on my cell phone. And I mean, cell phone cameras can be great, but the problem with them is that the cameras just aren't as good as a professional quality DSLR. So yeah, right now I have a 2 DSLR camera setup, and I have a stream switcher. And so theoretically, everything should look absolutely gorgeous and much higher quality than I've ever had before. So, all right. It would be nice if I was on my own channel instead of random other people's channels. Okay. And hopefully everything is working right and we're having fun. Well, I'm having fun learning things. Okay, so it looks like my laptop's not actually in the wide shot, which is pretty good. Let's see if you can see. If I step back here, can you guys see my post device? And it looks like you can. Excellent. Awesome, awesome. So, hey guys, I'm Ray, and we are streaming blacksmithing. So today we are going to be continuing our bird feeder hanger that we started last week. We were working Wednesday and Friday on this. We took a break on Monday because I had to take my poor kitty to the vet. He wasn't eating and all weekend, and so we just needed to make sure that he was doing okay. So unfortunately, I didn't get home until almost 2 o'clock, and I just didn't want to start the stream that late, especially with the brand new setup. I wanted everything to be really nice and pretty for you guys. So welcome in. Thank you for joining me. Still a bit of an echo. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the case this time. I'll have to ask my partner if there's a way that I can like mute the on-camera audio for this stuff. Let's see. Is there a way I can do that on my own? I do not know. I don't know. I'm so sorry for the echo, guys. I'm still like really new to all of this stuff, and so I'm trying really hard, but yeah, I probably won't be able to get rid of the echo until Friday's stream. So without turning off of my normal sound, the echo might sound a little bit less bad once I get the forge turned on. So let's see about turning that forge on. It looks like I have an ad in progress right now. Okay, so yeah, I think there's a little bit of an echo. Hopefully that'll go away when I start up the forge. So let's start up the forge real fast. Do you have speakers on playing your audio? Okay, so my setup is it's still new. So like what I have right now is my DSLRs. I have one right there and I have one over there. They have audio, and I believe what's happening. I also have audio, or like an audio stock that's like it's a lav mic in my clothes, and it's playing straight into the stream, like the stream switcher. And so what I think is happening is it's capturing both the audio from my lav mic and the on-camera mic. So if I might have to mute the lav for now. Okay, I could probably do that. If the sound becomes, I'm gonna mute the audio for a second, and if the sound gets weird for me, let me know when I turn on the forge, because I'll get all that noise and everything. So right now I have taken off the stop. You are no longer echoing. That was the echo. Okay. All right. So I took the lav mic out of the stream capture. So now we are on camera audio only. So, if it becomes an issue, just let me know and I can replug it in after I get the Forge going. I don't have any compression on the on-camera mics, so my voice might get a little bit lost, especially when I'm like going back and forth between the anvil and my seat. So if we have an issue, just let me know and I'll replug the lav mic back in and we'll see what we can do there. But yeah, I think it's the capture card is being a little funky. Because we were getting both audio at the same time. I thought that the lav mic would actually override the on-camera microphone in the capture card, but it didn't. So yeah, I'll have to ask about that. So let's get the Forge started because it is so cold in here today. Alrighty. There we go. Alright, so if you have OBS up, you can cut on cam audio, but I'm a noob at the setup too. I just ding, ding, ding metal. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm still really, really new to OBS. Let me see if I can't pull that up and play with that. All right. Pull up OBS. And then I've got a sound mixer. Okay, so that is that. Interesting. Okay, if I plug this guy back into here, testing, testing, I should, in theory, have a echo again, theoretically. So, let's see. Welcome, welcome. Correct, the echo is back. How about if I do, that's the desktop audio. Okay. All right. Interesting. All right, I think what's happening, okay, I'm gonna unplug the lav mic and we're gonna go back to on-cam mic for the moment. I think what's happening is my capture card is treating them, and like the OBS is treating both the on-camera mic and the lav mic as a single in. So yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to mute the in-camera microphone, I think. Okay. Yeah, and it's kind of like, okay, so I have this little switcher guy box thing, right? So this is like camera 1 and this is camera 2. So right now, because I'm talking to you from camera 1, you're hearing the on-camera mic from camera 1. So if I switch over to camera 2, which is the anvil cam, theoretically you should be hearing a different audio from the on-camera mic on the other side, right? So then I also have like a little line in for my microphone for my lav mic capture, which is this guy right here. And so I don't think that my switcher is separating the two audios. Welcome in, guys. I am kind of a little bit scuffy today. I'm working with a brand new setup, and I'm kind of trying to troubleshoot some of the bugs that I'm getting. My lav mic and my on-camera audio are kind of mixing at the same time, so we'll see what's going on. So yeah, the idea was to get the streams audio from my lav mic, because we've already seen that the lav mic audio is pretty decent. I've got some compression in there, so a lot of the ambient noise from the Forge and stuff will go, or like will get a lot lower when I'm using the lav mic. But when I'm using the two on-camera mic or like audio, it's not quite. Yeah, I just don't feel like it's going to give me the compression that I need to take out that ambient noise. So let's see. I have the forge going. I need to put some metal in that forge so that gets heated and I'm not wasting that gas. So we'll do that. All right, so what DSLR is it? What is it? I think it's a Panasonic. I'm honestly not sure because they're not my cameras, they're my partner's cameras. My DSLR RS, like the resolution? Yeah, they do look really good. The main one that I'm using right now, that one actually is a 4K camera. The one that I have on the Anvil, my second camera, that only goes up to the 2K definition. So that's really, really nice. So hopefully I've got a much better picture. Obviously my sound is probably going to be a little bit iffy because I'm just using the on-cam mic right now. So how is the ambient noise from the Forge? Are you guys able to hear me well enough, or are you willing to, you know, deal with the echo to get a little bit better sound? Sounds great. Okay, cool. I wasn't sure because I don't know how much noise canceling I've got. A bit loud, like I have the Forge going. Well, you know, a blacksmith's got to use a forge, right? All right, so I think I'm gonna go with what we're doing right now. I will ask about the echo when my partner gets home. So we're gonna have a little bit more ambient noise like we did last week, and I will try to work through some of the issues and troubleshooting with him tonight. Okay, you can hear the Forge, but you can hear me clearly. Awesome. Welcome in, guys. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm so excited to share my new setup with you guys. So today we are going to continue on our bird feeder hanger. So I have a picture of the design that I did. So we're gonna focus on this one right here. So we've got the two sections. These guys are forged out, but they're straight. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna create those curves on the edge of the anvil and on the anvil horn, right? So after that, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do a couple spot welds to put them together so that they don't move around, because I wanna wrap these guys together so that we don't see that weld. And then from there, we're going to weld it onto a plate, which, okay. So for the wrap, I kind of figure what we'll do is I will bring a little piece of the 1/4 inch square stock down. It's a little bit thick to wrap around it now, but if I bring this down, taper it down a little bit, it should be really nice to wrap around that piece. And then I've got a piece of angle iron here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw this in the forge and we're gonna flatten it out. So we'll have that nice center column where the angle iron is thicker. on that corner. So we'll have that nice line going down so that we can weld the arms on here. And that's the design that I have going right now. If you guys, you know, can imagine that. Cool. Oh, nice. Awesome. I hear no echo, at least on this camera. Yeah, okay, so right now I don't have my lav mic attached to the capture card. And so we only were getting the echo when I had this attached to the capture card because I have the on-camera mic and then the lav mic also recording. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on right now with that. So right now I have 1/2 in the forge and it's heating up and we're going to start curving that. And then we'll put this guy in the forge and we'll curve it. So maybe I'll do that now. So it can, while we are curving the first one, we can kind of start heating the second. And I'm just now starting to realize that my headphones are on my chair. Oh, they're so cold. Yes, we are still working on the bird feeder hanger. We are curving the two pieces and we're gonna fabricate them together, a little bit of a bead weld to hold them together securely, and then we're gonna wrap around the join with a piece of another piece of stock. We're gonna draw this down a little bit, and then we're going to weld it to this piece of angle iron. But before we do that, we're going to flatten it out. We will still get to see this nice crisp corner as a raised section, kind of like a little extra pizzazz on that design, so that we can make sure that our bird feeder hanger is very straight and very level on there. I need to make a whole heap of nails. When do I get my forge warm again? Or when I do get my forge warm again. Yes, nails are awesome. They are great money makers. People people always want hand forged nails. I will eventually get to that as a project, but I need to make myself a nail header first. Oh man, I left my water in the house. Give me like 30 seconds. It's like right there. I will be right back. Ah. Whoops. It is so much warmer in the house than it is out in the shop. I suppose that's pretty, normal. For the moment, at least. All right, I am going to take this and I'm going to put it somewhere. This is my lav mic case. Maybe I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I can't really keep it there now, can I? I don't know. I guess I'll put it there for now. Hopefully it doesn't fall off. All right. Nail hooks. But yes, I need to make myself a nail header too. Yeah, I just don't, I never got into, like, I've made nails before, but always at other people's houses as like demos and stuff. Nails were never a part of like what I was doing, so yeah. Let's see here. I've got about 11 minutes until my my ads are going, so we should be good on that front. Oh, what am I going to do with these guys? I'm going to put them over here for now because I'm just putting everything over here for now, it looks like. All right. So first things first, we're going to see how it goes. Rounding this guy out. So I've got a nice curl going there. I'm pretty happy with it. We're going to straighten that out because it tends to get a little bit of a curve, like a twist going when I'm doing this on the anvil horn. So I'm actually pretty happy with that. All right. So there's a little bit too much, because of course. All right, so there's a little bit too much straight right here. So I'm gonna heat that back up and we're gonna see about getting that to curve a little bit more. The great thing about having such a large forge is that I never have to worry about making things really large curls and scrolls because they fit right in there. All right. What I love to find a nice source of is old looking screws. I have a lot of vintage coat hooks, etc., but they look bad with standard drywall screws. Yeah, I have never made a screw before, at least not blacksmith. I have totally made screws in a jeweler, like a silversmithing sense. I've made a couple different screws with like silver, and I saw but how I did that was I took a piece of stock and then I wrapped it around I wrapped two pieces of stock right around each other, and I kind of soldered or I unscrewed them together. I soldered one side inside of a little like tube, and the other side I soldered onto a stick. And so it was kind of like threading and a screw at the same exact time. I've also tapped threading. I have a tap set in the other room for a standard, I think it's like 117 threading that I use for like sword threadings and stuff like that. Also camera threadings, I do have a tap for that because I made a few pieces of equipment for my partner's cameras over the years. So that's kind of my experience with screws and threads. It shouldn't be hard to find vintage pattern slotted screws. Some just remember their shanks are as thick as the thread, so they need some pre-drilling. Does anyone make a style that with a Phillips head? Honestly, I have seen a few. Phillips heads are a lot less common, and the reason for that is it's a lot easier to get a single slot in there than it is to get like that little plus in there. I have seen a few, but not nearly as common as the flathead. It's just easier to deal with. Phillips is... My bit rate is really bad right now. Maybe it's not. Is it? Am I doing all right? Looks like I might be a little bit laggy. We're looking. All right, I seem to be okay for that. I'm not sure. Am I laggy for you guys? Maybe it's just my Twitch having issues. It looks like maybe my Twitch is having some issues. Seems great to me. Awesome. Okay, cool. Like I have a little preview on my stream manager on my computer, and it froze. So I'm just, yeah. It makes me worried when the stuff freezes. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually take you over to the anvil camera, So next time so that I can bring out the piece and you guys can see a little bit closer. All right. Well, I'm not sure can you guys see the anvil? Now it's really taking shape. It is taking shape really nicely. All right, so I've got this nice curl going. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to flip it around because I really like what I got going here. We're gonna flip it around and start curling on that other side. Go back to camera 1. Awesome. We can see you, just barely hear you instead. Okay. Maybe if I do something like this fanciness. How about that? Do we like this better? Because we now have like a little inset where you can see all of the anvil close-ups. How's that? Once the lav mic issue is figured out, it'll be great. Awesome. So do we like the inset? I can put the inset in a couple different places. Just to need to mute that other camera. Okay, yeah, very snappy. Audio on the anvil camera is quite a bit lower. Yeah, part of it is because the anvil camera is a little bit farther away from me, so yeah. Okay, the inset is now 2 audio tracks. Okay, so let's do that then. With 2 cameras up, both. Okay, so that is now we have for sure. Now we know what's going on with the audio issues. My capture card is treating all of the audio as one source and pumping that all out at the same time to OBS. So I'm gonna have to like mute the sound on the cameras, I think, so that way we can use the lav mic sound, because I think it's going to be a lot better with the lav mic. So the reason that we had the audio on the cameras to begin with is so that I could sync up. What I've got going on is I'm actually recording to memory cards on each of the cameras. So that I can get clean video and for edits for my YouTube channel. But I have to kind of figure out, so it makes syncing the 2 cameras a lot easier in the editing software. But I think maybe I need to figure out a way to like maybe reduce the volume or mute it in the capture card. I'm not entirely sure. Tell those damn cameras to be just cameras. Yeah, that's kind of what what I need to do. I need to mute the on-camera audio, or like just have it pump out the audio to like a different card or something. Because yeah, I want the clean. I really like the clean visuals. So if I add in like emotes or alerts and stuff like that on the actual stream itself, I will have the clean visuals from the cards in the cameras. So that's kind of the idea, because
I want to make some really nice tutorial videos for you guys to watch. I added another 4 videos yesterday to my YouTube channel. 3 of them are raw streams from the week of the week of January 1st. So the only stream that is not archived now on my YouTube is the stream from Friday, and I will be archiving that one and this one today, tomorrow. And then I have a 4th video up that is a tutorial of the round bottle opener that we did on the stream. So I also have an edit of the wine bottle opener, like the corkscrew that we did. And I need to post that, and I will definitely post that tomorrow so you guys can watch that too. That way, you guys can, continue watching or looking up the different streams and stuff that we've done together. In case you have you want to go back and see, a question that you asked answered, or you just want to remember, the process of whatever we were doing. You'll be able to look those up there in playlists. There's a December one and a January one right now. All right. My ad is starting soon. Yes, that's my YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Ping, for linking that for me. That is awesome. I've got an ad starting soon, so once those ads are finished playing, we will... yes, doing mod things. Yeah, once we finish the ads, I will pull the piece back out of the forge, and we'll continue that curl, the scroll, and yeah, so that's what we're up to. Doing mod things. All right, let's see. I wonder if, let's see. I wonder if I close my stream manager in my phone, if that'll give me a little bit more bandwidth on my computer. It would be really nice if I could see that a little bit easier. I have too much crap going on over on this. I need another table or something in here, I think. If you have an NVIDIA card, check out RTX Voice. It has decent noise gate for shop noises. Interesting. So right now it's just like a G-Stream M2. It's like one of the cheaper Amazon capture cards that they got going. And then that's just going straight into my ThinkPad. It's like a Toshiba ThinkPad. It's not like a gaming computer or anything. It does have an okay graphics card. My partner bought it so that for editing on the go. So it's got a little bit of a beefy graphics card, but it doesn't have a gamer setup. So it'll take me a little bit to figure out, how to fix the echo on that in the capture card. We might just end up having to mute the on-camera mics. So I think what's going to end up happening is I'm probably going to have to download the stream itself and sync from the visual cues. That's kind of something that I've had to do before. There was a couple times in the very beginning of my streams where I accidentally muted myself for the whole stream, and I had the lav mic audio, but I never had the other stuff. Give me just a second here. I forgot to do a thing that I was told to do, and yeah, I have to restart my clips. on my cameras real fast. I'm sorry. I'm still kind of getting used to this setup. Now writing, please wait. Okay, that's cool. We can do that. All right, cool. All right. Let us see. I need to refresh my player real fast. There we go. Okay. Y'all can see things, and I can see things. And yeah. All right, so I'm going to take us to the anvil cam. And yeah, the sound's going to get a little bit icky, but I apologize for that. All right, did that work? There we go. So we're going to come over here. So we've got a nice round area coming through. So all right, so we've got a nice round going in there like that. I'm gonna pretty happy with that. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna check our design. And so right now we are making the bottom section. So we need to bring this guy in a little bit further, and then this guy can go up just a hair more. And then, so we've got that round section there, and we've got, you guys can't even see that, my round section on my notebook because it's kind of small. So I need to bring this guy around a little bit further is what I need to do. So that's going to be our next step. All right, looks so good. Oh, nice. Yeah, so did it work? Am I lagging a little bit? Okay, there we go. Awesome. So yeah, I'm trying to get like a really nice like full project done for you guys, and I'm getting really happy with that particular piece. We've got another piece to curl, or I guess scroll. Scroll is the proper term for it. And then I will go over to the welder and we'll weld those up. Unfortunately, my welding area is a giant disaster because we had to move like a whole bunch of stuff from the sides of my shop. And so I'm not going to be able to take you over. It's going to be a little bit gross when I take you over to see the welder. And I have to body block the weld. Because the light from the weld messes with the camera sensors. So I don't have a filter for the camera for the welder. So we'll put those two together. We'll try and make that real quick so that you don't have to look at my back for too long. But I need those two securely together so that when I wrap that around, or when I wrap the weld, that they don't shimmy on me. If the weld area if it isn't messy, we know it's fake, right? Yeah, my weld area is pretty messy. There's just a random air compressor just sitting in front of my welding table, And it's not even like this air compressor functions, but it's one of those things that you just can't like leave in the garbage. So like it's just sitting here. I mean, I love the tank. I want to use the tank to, you know, make something with, but like the motor that does the air compressing, it doesn't even work, and it's just like sitting there. It's just, yeah. I need to move it. I need to clean the shop again, but it was more important for me to get the setup together and get it out to you guys, to be able to get, like, you know, increased quality on the stream for me than it was to keep my shop pretty. But yeah, the welder, the arc of the weld is just so bright that it will mess with the sensors on the camera. So if I were to, you know, or if I were to show you the weld itself, you get like a weird line over the screen, and it would kind of be all like fuzzy in that area. And after a while, it will actually break the camera, and it won't be usable anymore. So I will have to body block that, and you won't be able to see that, unfortunately. Fellow Smith, hello. Drunken Dwarf Iron, welcome in. Hello. I am always happy to see fellow Smiths. This is such a great community that we have, blacksmiths as well as crafters all over the world. I am so excited to be with you guys and streaming and stuff. Welcome in. Hello, hello. So yeah, we stream Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays from 2:30 Eastern to 4:30, 5 Eastern, somewhere in there. It heavily depends upon, like, you know, if we're really close to being done, or like batteries on the cameras and things like that. I did not stream this Monday, and because I had to take my pets to the vet, and they're all right now. We're good on that. So yeah, always love to see anyone rocking a hammer. Yes, I love, I love blacksmithing, and I figured I'd share it with the internet and the community. So yeah, I am going to flip cameras again. So my sound is going to get a little bit weird. Still a new setup. Hopefully it's not too bad. Let's see. Did it function? Maybe if I look at OBS, it'll work. Okay. I think I can actually see a little bit better on OBS than I can on my stream. I'm quite jealous. I've always wanted to stream it, but no internet access in my shop. Well, I'm not that far from my home internet, so it's not too bad. I've got a Wi-Fi extender out here. Hey, hey, hey. Don't be dumb. All right, so what we're trying to do now is we are continuing this scroll, and we're going to try and bring that around. All right, so we've got ourselves a nice little scroll going. Whoops. I got to remember that my camera is a little on the low side. That one. All right, so yeah, we've got a really nice scroll going. I think I want to bring it down just a hair more, like so. All right, and then I think I'm pretty happy with that. Let me look and compare it to our design again. So yeah, we've got the curl, and it's coming in just like this guy. So if we flip our curl, our scroll, then we have exactly the correct shape from the design. So that's really exciting, which means that we're done with this guy. We might need to like flatten it out just a little bit. I think I see a little curve. Let's go like this, and like if I glance down it, it looks pretty straight. So I think I'm pretty happy with that. I am gonna quench this guy off in my quench bucket, if I can find my quench bucket. All right. So we've got a nice quenched scroll right there. So we have a second piece, and that one's already heating in the forge. And so we're gonna start that scroll, or the next scroll. Nice. What is the overall project? Can't quite tell. So we are doing a bird feeder hanger. So what this section is this is going to be like the lower hook, so that you could put like a second bird feeder on there. So we've got a longer, shallower curved piece, and then that's going to go. This guy's a little on the hot side, not burning hot, but a little uncomfortable. So that we've got a little bit more of a shallow curve that's going to go on here, like so. So a little shallow curve, and then we've got this section here that's going to be able to hold another bird feeder. So like maybe we want to have like a bird seed hanger or a bird seed feeder, as well as maybe a hummingbird feeder on the same hook. Maybe, I mean, that's probably, you probably don't want to do that if you're an a bird watcher, but for this project, that's kind of like the design that I came up with. So yeah, so we've got 1 out of the 2 pieces completed. So I'm pretty happy with that. Let's see. It's kind of cold in the shop today, so I need to warm up my hands a little bit. So it's like 22 degrees outside. In here, it's a lot warmer than that, but it's still kind of like, in the upper 30s, closer to the 40s in here. So it's a little on the colder side for me personally. I prefer really, really warm weather. So yeah. All right, let's see. Looks like our other side is doing well. I already started heating it, so I think I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, seems quite cold. When I get in, I just spend the first half hour standing right in front of the forge trying to warm up. Yeah, like it is so cold. I have a space heater down here, and I've been kind of like using that to kind of heat up the area. But I still have my door open to the outside because I need that ventilation. In here, there's really not a good amount of ventilation, so I need to make sure that I allow, extra propane or carbon monoxide to just like leave the shop. So the door is open to, for ventilation, and it gets a little bit cold in here. All right, it looks like I have 11 and a half minutes. We get the Jetstream roller coaster this week. Cold, warm, cold, over 5 days. Oh, yes, we do too. It's like in the 20s today, and then by Friday, it's supposed to be in the 40s. And then, like, I think I looked at the month, and we've got a couple days where it's supposed to get into like the 50s. So it's so crazy. And then it'll go back down to like the 10s again. Let's see, if I move this down here, maybe I'll be able to see my add timer. There we go. I can see my add timer. Okay, we're gonna swap to camera 2. And we're gonna start this nice curve, and we're gonna turn this into a C shape. And so we've got a nice curve going in there. I think I'm gonna straighten that out a little bit, or I'm gonna drop my piece. That's good too. Need to make myself another set of universal tongs. These ones are a little bit on the loose side, and so I always have trouble with them. All right, so we've kind of straightened that a little bit up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip it around, put it back in the forge, and then we're gonna start on the other side because we wanna make that nice C shape. So I need to pull this side in more. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna put another piece inside the forge. And this piece is the one that we're gonna use. We're gonna draw that down. All right, so the other piece I put in there is the piece that we're gonna draw down as the wrap. So where in the design, where the two pieces touch right here, we're gonna wrap that around with a second piece of steel. And I need to draw it down because I only have 1/4 inch stock right now, and I want that wrap to be round, and I want it to be maybe, 3/16 in size, maybe an 1/8. We'll see what I'm kind of doing that part by eye. So we'll see whether I like it a little bit better at an 1/8 or at 3/16. And then we'll wrap that around these two pieces together. So I'm thinking that it's gonna hang very similar to like this. And then I've got, this is gonna be the plate that it's on. This is just a piece of angle iron. We're gonna put this in the forge and flatten that out. So we're gonna get a nice ridge where that corner is, because it's thicker in this corner than it is on the edges here. So I really like that nice line. It's a very solid, symmetrical line. And so that's the design there. Funnily enough, every job in the workshop seems more important when you've got long reins to draw out, right? That's a really interesting anvil. Never seen that pattern with the split level top. Okay, so I need to actually add this to my frequently asked questions because I get this question a lot. This anvil is a beautiful hay button anvil. And the year that it was made, all of these anvils that were made in the same lot ended up with a whole bunch of inclusions in the weld on the faceplate. So this isn't a special patterned anvil. This is a broken anvil, right? So this is the original top right here. And then this section here, the plate is missing. So I actually forge on the raw iron itself. So if I can feel right here on this edge that it is actually starting to mushroom out. And that's because with the tool steel plate, that's not gonna mushroom because it's nice and hard and it's got that bounce here. But this raw iron base on the anvil, it kind of is starting to mushroom after years of use. So So that's not something that I can't correct or fix. It's just kind of what's going on right here with this anvil. So you can see the inclusions in that weld right here and right here. And as this anvil was used, it just cracked the plate right off of it. So it's a damaged anvil. It's not a special pattern. Well, that's why I don't recognize the shape. Yes. See, I was really new to blacksmithing when I bought this anvil. I bought it probably 10 years ago. And I thought that this was such a cool looking anvil because it did have that nice step pattern on it. And it wasn't until a couple months later that I realized that that it was a broken anvil. So I still love this anvil. It still works very beautifully, very nicely. It still has plenty of bounce left in it, but it is a broken anvil. Damage. Am I hearing one of a kind? Triple the value at least. Yes, one of a kind anvil. I paid $2 a pound for it. Maybe I'll sell it for 15 pounds or dollars a pound. You know. I mean, when I get rich and famous from streaming and YouTube, my theoretical internet monies. Yes. Also, something I find quite endearing about you, American blacksmith, you can always tell the make, year, and history of their anvil. Well, I cannot tell you the history of my anvil, nor can I tell you the year it was made, but it is a hay button anvil, and it does have some damage here. And when I was looking up the damage later on, I found several other pieces that had that exact same damage. So I kind of put two and two together. Ping, thanks for the biddies. Thank you so much. I have two anvils. All I can tell you is there's one big one and one small one, and I can't lift the big one, right? Yeah, I do have the poundage on this anvil. It's 127 pounds. It's the same weight as the anvil that I have outside. I have a second anvil as well. That one is a drop steel anvil. Several years ago, maybe 15 years ago, you could buy drop steel anvils from Harbor Freight, which is an American discount tool store. It's kind of like generic tools. It's kind of a joke in the U.S. where if you need a tool, you buy it at Harbor Freight, and then when it breaks, or if you use it enough that it breaks, then you buy a good one. And that's kind of the joke about Harbor Freight in the U.S. So that one is a drop cast steel anvil. It's nowhere near as good as this guy. I really like the raw iron. Can you read the stamps on the anvil? I can't remember where. Yeah, well, I can barely read them. The stamps are on this side of the anvil. But it's been a minute since I've tried to read it, and the way it sits, it's very backlit, and they're very shallow stamps. So I can't read the stamp anymore. If I were to turn the whole anvil, there's a light that's right up here, and I could probably read it, but that's a lot of effort. So, okay. I've got about 2 minutes before my next set of ads starts, so I think I will probably, talk to you guys, answer some questions, and we will start the next heat. So the rest of that curve for that C, we'll start that after the next ad break, because I want to make sure that everybody gets to see the hot metal. I wish I knew the history of my anvils, especially the small one. It looks hand-forged with big sledge marks on the rounded base. Yeah, there's so many people who have actually made handmade anvils. I watched a couple documentaries on them. Some of the more recent ones, I think Abana had a video where they did a anvil that they made at one of the Abana conferences. And then Abana is the American Blacksmith or North American Blacksmith Association. So that's kind of like your blacksmiths guild in Europe, but that's the American version of it. We have conferences every 2 years. I've never been able to make it to one, but yeah, they do all kinds of crazy demos. Like I said, I think they handmade an anvil one year. I saw the video; it was so cool. Hands are getting all cold, and they're starting to like get a little bit slow. Makes it hard for me to be able to like flip the hammer down with that extra, flip in. All right. I need to stop the clip on my recording and start that up again, so I'm going to do that real fast. Turn that back on. Then I need to stop the clip on this one and start the clip back up. All right. So we are now doing ads. If you're following Abana, their national curriculum looks amazing for skill and building qualifications. Yes, Abana's curriculum is amazing. I am more self-taught. I went down to the Memphis Metals Museum in Memphis, Tennessee, and they are a fully functional working shop. They do blacksmithing, and they do casting, and they do like silversmithing and repair work. And they have a few conferences throughout the year, and for several years running, I went to every single blacksmithing conference, and that's where I learned how to blacksmith. For the vast majority of my abilities. I also learned a lot from YouTube, so I should bring down my family's anvil for my parents' homestead. I know it's been in the family for at least 3 generations, maybe more. Oops, in ads. I see you explaining. I can't hear a word. Yeah. Sorry about that. Let me see. I will re-explain my, blacksmithing origin when the ads finish. All right. So the ads are almost done. It looks like they'll be done here, and I guess the ads are done. Okay. So, Abana does have some amazing blacksmith opportunities, classes, and things like that, and a really good curriculum taught by some amazing smiths. I personally learned by going down to the Memphis Metals Museum in Memphis, Tennessee. They have a couple week-long workshops that they do every year with blacksmiths that they, fly in from Europe. And yeah, so they bring them in and they teach you blacksmithing, stuff like that. For several years running, I went to both of the conferences. So for about 3 to 5 years, I went to every single one. And I learned so much through doing that. I learned a lot also from YouTube. So I'm very, I have teachers and instructors, but I'm somewhat self-taught. I did not, I did not take any of the Abana courses. I wish I had. All right. Yeah. So by trade, I'm actually a jeweler. I worked for Signet for a couple years, and I went from being an apprentice to being a B-class jeweler very quickly. because I went to college for metalworking and silversmithing. So the work really translates very quickly. So it would not have taken me much longer to be an A-rank jeweler at that point. But I also had some real life stuff happen and I had to leave that position. So we are back here, blacksmithing, and I kind of like blacksmithing better, less precision. Oh wait, I just hit the same camera I was on. Stay in there. All right, so we've got a nice C going there. I'm pretty happy with that. I need to kind of even it out. It's a little bit flatter on this side than it is on that side. So I think we're gonna flip it over again so I can fix that. And now I've locked it on my anvil because C's. Come on, there we go. That's what happens when you hold on to things upside down. All right, so I'm gonna put that side in first. Ah! Oh no! I'm dropping things everywhere. Let's try not to set our forge on fire, or at least our smithy. Pick this guy up. The struggle is real, guys. The struggle is real. There, or not. This is really comical if you could see what was happening. So I had to fight my two pieces of steel. The long piece fell out and then my C was not going in there correctly. All right. Oh wow, lots and lots of stuff. I'm gonna have to look at my other view so I can read it all. All right, how is working for Signet? I haven't heard amazing things. Okay, so Signet, I have nothing terrible to say about the company itself. Part of the reason why I did not have an amazing time there is because of the manager of my particular store. She was not amazing. She would not give me my week schedule until the Tuesday of the week that the schedule was for. So she'd just be like on Friday, she'd be like, I need you on this day, and this day, Monday and Tuesday, and these times on the weekends, and I'll have your schedule for you on Tuesday. So I couldn't plan anything. And that was kind of the major thing that I did not like about Signet. But I had my assistant manager there was really great, and I loved the work. There's nothing stopping you for taking some. I've been about half self-taught, half learned by sharing a workshop with a pro smith for 18 months. Now I'm looking at following the Urbana curriculum because it's really well structured and easy to follow in your own shop. Just to brush up, finalize a few skills, and get some fun paperwork. What are things welded to the underside of the anvil? Oh, if you're looking at these guys over here, these are just like rare earth magnets, and what they do is they deaden the ring of the anvil. So every time I hammer, you got that nice like ring to it, right? So it's really high pitched and it lasts for a really long time unless you put magnets underneath of the anvil. It kind of reduces the shake and the resonance of the anvil. So that's what those are for. Yes, they are magnets to deaden the high pitched ring. What repairs did you do? Did you do any stone setting? Yeah, I was a so when I worked at Signet, I was their major workhorse. I did all of their sizings. I did all of their, or anytime you wanted two rings soldered together, I'd do that. I did a lot of the reshanks. So when a ring gets really thin on the underside of it, you kind of like cut off the shank of the ring and you put new metal there. So it's the same top, but the bottom is a different piece of metal. So I did all of those. My boss gave me anything like heavily metal related because I was the best with metal in the shop. I did do some stone setting, but my manager hated it when I did them because she was always afraid that I was going to break my gems. And I only actually broke like 2 gems the entire time I was there. So I wasn't that bad. She just didn't like me to do them. So that's, kind of how that went. But we moved houses while I was still at Signet. And we moved before we sold the previous house. And there was a lot of repair work that needed to be done on that house. And so I ended up quitting my job at Signet and fixing and making all of the repairs for the old house and making sure that we could sell it. And then shortly after that, I got really sick. So I didn't get to go back. If you aren't breaking stones, you aren't setting enough stones. I know, right? It's kind of just a given, right? Some stones are just so soft, and some of them, like they have, like specifically, some of the diamonds have a lot of really bad inclusions in them, and so you got to be so careful that they don't break. Isn't it weird that you live in a place and just deal with the stuff that should be repaired until you go to sell it? Yes, I mean, seriously, that's exactly how it is. Like we had to redo the locks because like there was just like a certain way you had to jimmy the locks in order to get them open. And I mean, my partner and I knew how to jimmy the locks open, but like the realtor couldn't do it. And it was just so I ended up just repairing those. I had to be around to repair a heater issue. We had to replace the hot water heater. And then there was like a foundation issue that we had to deal with. But we had to hire that one out. So, yeah. It is insane the amount of stuff that you live with because you just don't want to deal with it or don't have the money to deal with it, Isn't that, yeah. All right. Oh, there is a piece of steel in my seat. And I put it there. I'm going to put that there for now. That's my phone, and I don't really need that right now. But I'll put that in my pocket. Did I get to do any platinum work? I did not get to do platinum. We only had one smith in the one jeweler in the shop that they allowed to do platinum, and the reason is because it's just so unruly to deal with, and it's so bright. We only had one set of shades, and it was just easier to get that smith to do it, or that jeweler to do it. All right, let's see if I can get this to curve out a little bit better. Do, do, do. And I also want to straighten this out. And I've got the whole thing nice and warm, so I think that I'm gonna see about fixing a little curve and then dropping my piece. All right, there we go. Come on. Sometimes manipulating pieces is a little bit, or can be a little bit challenging. Let's see here. I think I actually need to look at my design because I'm thinking that that's too much of a curve. Let's see. Yeah, I think I've got too much of a curve because like right now what I'm doing is I'm trying to get this one right here done. And I think that this is too big of a curve. I need to make that a lot more shallow, at least on one end. Because I'm kind of looking at, whoops, I lost my design. There it is. So I'm kind of looking at maybe doing, I want to do something more like this maybe. And I think we're going to bring that a little bit further this way. So I need to make this a little bit, bring this back out more because that's just too much curve. Most definitely too much curve. So I'm going to put this one back in the forge. Okay. So I have about 13 minutes until my next ad break. So we've got plenty of time. We can talk. We can get another couple of, heats in. And that should work pretty well. All right. So one of the good things about Signet is that they took you from being like, you could go and get a job at Signet and be or as an apprentice, and they would teach you the entire job from managing pieces coming in and out of the shop to polishing stuff, soldering. They'd teach you everything. I had a big leg up because I went to college for silversmithing, so I already knew how to polish things. I already knew how to solder. I already knew how to make chain. I already knew so many things already. I just needed to apply them to gold and as opposed to sterling silver, because I had only really worked with sterling silver prior to that job. Lens cover closed. Interesting. What's happening? That's fun. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do this. All right, so what has happened is, and now I'm on like a really, really shallow, okay. Okay, so what's happening, is it gonna focus? Is it gonna focus? Maybe it won't. Yeah, my battery died, right? So my wide's battery died. We have been streaming for an hour and a half. So yeah, my wide shot's battery died, unfortunately. And now I have a really shallow depth of field. All right, we're gonna go back to the anvil because I can't get my thing to like, work amazingly well. All right, let's go back to that shot. Come on. Do what I want you to do, please. Focus. Or maybe it's not going to focus on me. It'd be nice if it did. Please? Pretty please with sugar on top? What is happening, man? Come on. I am so sorry, guys. It is not focusing correctly. And I think it's because it's focusing on, there it goes. Goodness gracious. Maybe if it wasn't focused on my chair and it was actually focused on the anvil, that would help. Double space heater now. Yeah, I am sorry, guys. It looks like my wide shot has died, which means that I need to order a new battery for that camera. We were talking about using dummy batteries for the cameras, and so what a dummy battery is it's like a little battery that goes up in the slot of the camera, and it actually has a cord where you can plug it into the power. So I think I'm gonna ask my partner to order me a couple of those because yeah, I can't really have my camera go dead on me like that. I don't have any extra batteries for these cameras because these are really old cameras. The wide shot camera is about, let's see, 6 years old, I think. And then the anvil shot camera is a little bit older than that. So, yeah. Well, I think, let's see. It looks like I am going to be stuck on the anvil camera for the moment. I can stream for a little bit longer, but I don't think that the other camera's battery is going to hold out that much longer either. When I was looking at it, it looks like it's starting to go dead too. So, I may end up having to cut off the stream a little bit early today so that we can deal with those issues. I'm really sorry about that. I will be back on Friday. Hopefully we can get those dummy batteries in sooner than later, or find more batteries for these cameras. But yeah, I'm sorry about that. It's the new setup. The new setup is challenging. But while I've got you, I'm gonna see about fixing the C. See if I can get the piece out of the forge. Great thing about anvils is that you can actually use every surface of an anvil. There we go. That's better. All right, so we've got a nice hook there going. This may have been the backwardsy direction now that I think about it. Let's see. Can I do this? Like so? All right, so if I put this like so, and then this one, I wanted it to be kind of the other way around. Kind of more like that. But I wanted it higher, so what if I did problems? All about that problem solving. All right, so let's look at the design and see what our design can tell us. Okay. So I think what I did is I did this backwards because of the direction that I curved this. So I'm going to put this back in here. I'm going to recurve this and I'm going to straighten this side. So we're going to do the exact opposite. Because I was more worried about my cameras, I think, than I was about my blacksmithing piece. Because the blacksmithing part is so much easier to deal with. All right. So yeah, the blacksmith part is so much easier to deal with than the technology section. And yeah. So I'm more of a traditional artist, and yeah, I do my best, but it's just, you know, kind of one of those things. So it looks like I'm not going to be able to finish off this project today. So maybe we'll take that extra day on Friday and we'll finish that project out on Friday. So I think my goal for today, the rest of today, is to kind of finesse the other scroll, and then I think I will probably end the stream there. And then I will weld the two pieces together before we come back on Friday. That way we'll spend the stream wrapping the pieces, and I think that'll work out pretty well, if that's okay with you guys. It's the wrap join between the two pieces, just personal preference or design aesthetic. Would rivets be hard to install on the curves? So as far as the wrap, that's just a personal aesthetic choice. You could totally do a rivet, but it's a little bit more challenging to do the rivet in the curve, because like if I was trying to rivet inside of here, I would have to like be really careful about where I am, you know, hammering inside that curve. So it's a lot easier for me to just weld those two together. But I think welds look terrible on blacksmith pieces. If I can avoid a weld, like an actual weld line, I'm gonna do it, because I hate that, because I'm trying to make a traditional looking handmade blacksmith piece, and if you just see this like, you know, bead of weld there, I just don't like it. So we wrap it around so that it hides that weld. Now, when we get to the plate, which is going to be, you know, on this guy, so we're going to kind of like, it's going to end up looking kind of like this. It's going to be welded on there. So there will be a bead of weld visible on the back plate, on this back plate, between the scroll and the back plate, and I can't really wrap that because it's just not feasible. But this is also another place that a rivet could go. It's just, like I said, it's going to be very hard to get a hammer inside of the curve and the scroll. So I guess it's just because I'm being a little bit on the lazy side, maybe, if that makes sense. Nice. Yeah. So I'm trying to make it look like nice and traditional and stuff, but I'm also trying to be feasible with the amount of time that I have and the skill that I have. I'm not amazingly good with rivets. I never have been. I do them, but it takes me a long time to get them done. Yeah. This is also a piece where I would want to split and drift out the hole, and I don't have any drifts made for the shop right now. So, I've talked about hole punches before, but my hole punches are really big. So if I were to try and punch a hole in here, I wouldn't have any meat on either of the sides of this, and you can take care of that as a blacksmith by using a drift. And what that is it's kind of you start with a chisel, and then it rounds out into a round area, so you punch it all the way through. And it's kind of like a buttonhole where you kind of get that flat, and then you expand that into a round hole. So I would need to do that on this piece, and I just don't have any drifts made. So it's kind of like a combination of design and practicality and a little bit of laziness maybe. But I think it'll look really nice in the end anyway. All right, so my ads are starting soon again. It looks like. So I think I'm gonna stop my clip again. And there we go. Yeah, I'm gonna stop my clip again. And I guess it's only this clip. Stop the clip. Turn the clip back on. You know, it'd be really funny if I forgot to put the memory cards in there. I hope I did. Or I hope I put them in there. What was that? It looked weird. Okay. So we're almost ready. Good answer. I'm sure the wrap will look great too. Yes, I hope so. Nice to know some of the considerations you made in the design and executing the plans. Yeah, so part of being an artist is reconciling like the design in your head with logistics and what you're trying to get across in your piece. So I like a lot of function in my pieces, but I also like to balance that form in there as well. So I want things to be very well considered, and I want to think about things, and I want them to be cohesive, but I also know the limitations of my abilities, my skill, and the tools that I have. So I have to continue to remind myself, kind of like when I am doing the designing that, or of the different things that I can and cannot do. All right. It looks like we are good to go on the ads. They have stopped. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pull the steel again. All right, so we want to recurl this side. So we've got a nice shallow curl. I think I'm okay with that. And now we're going to bring this back over to this side, and we are going to kind of flatten this out a little bit further. see about this. All right, so now we've got a nice section there. This is a little bit wide for what I am doing on this particular anvil. Let's see here. So now we have, always the best. Trying to kind of figure out what we're doing here with our design. All right, so I need to bring this one in a little bit further, make this a lot skinnier, closer together. So I think I'm gonna work on curling this side a little bit further. I like that this one is a little bit straighter. But I think we're getting about where I want to be. Maybe it's more this way? Now I'm starting to like forget what I'm trying to do. Maybe it's like that. Time to consult the design. When in doubt, consult the design. All right, that's the design. So we've got this one. We're gonna go over here. Oh, we have made this kind of, let's see. It goes like this, I think. And then this one goes over this way, like so. Like so. And then this goes like that. So I want this one to go a little bit further, like so maybe? I'm gonna mess with this a little bit further. All right. So the great thing about having your pieces right in front of you is that you can kind of really, really start figuring out what you're trying to do. So we put that like that. Like so. And then I think I want to move that closer to that. Maybe more like that. So I need to bring this guy out a little bit further and this guy in a little bit more. Which is exactly what I just said. All right. Yes. Okay. Once upon a time, I didn't confuse myself with my drawing. But occasionally, unfortunately, I do. I kind of have to reassess what I'm doing and stuff. So I apologize for having to like redesign my design right in front of you. All right. But yeah, for Friday's stream, what we're gonna do is we are going to, or I'm gonna have these two pieces already welded together. So we're gonna focus on doing that wrap. So what we're gonna do is I have a piece of 1/4 inch square stock that's currently in the forge. It's this guy right here. Let me bring that over. So we're gonna focus on taking this guy and drawing it down so that it's much thinner. And then we're gonna wrap this piece around the two pieces that I've welded together already. And then we're also going to flatten out the square, or the angle iron that we're gonna use as a base for this piece. And that's what we're gonna do on Friday. And then on Monday, I will show you the fully functional welded piece. That way I don't have to weld on stream, I think. Cool. Awesome. So I'm getting close to being done. I'm gonna, and then I'm also, a note to myself, I need to try to figure out a solution for our battery situation as well as our sound situation. So those are notes for myself, and we'll be good to go. And I'm glad you guys are, enjoying my work. And I am very excited to increase the quality of the stream for you guys. I'm so happy that it's starting to work out. I'm so happy it's starting to work out. All right. So let's take a look at this design again. So got that. Like so, and then this goes like so. This is kind of more like that, I think. So I'm thinking if we go redesign, I think I like that. That's kind of where I like it. What do you guys think? Do you like this where it's like that nice curl in there, and then this so that it's, and then if we put this guy right here, I think that'll look really nice. Maybe we'll bring that down a little bit. Like so. Yeah, I think that's where we want to go with this. I'm pretty happy with that. Yep. So then we've got two little areas that this can go. So I might finesse that just a little bit before I weld them together, but I'm pretty happy with that, guys. Great to see it coming together. I'm glad. All right. So I think I'm going to end the stream here as I, completely drop all my hammers and am completely disorganized. Is there anybody that you guys want to raid? Is anybody online today? We've got a few of you, so it would be really nice to continue the party that we've got going. Anybody know anybody in the crafting space? Blacksmiths, jewelers, glass blowers, knives, or anything like that? Anybody know of anybody? Yes, now most of us can see we were here before the fancy cameras. It's turning out very good. The improvements are noticeable, doing real good. Excellent. I'm glad you guys are, excited to see the project. let's see. And yeah, and then we will continue this project on Friday. And then once we're done with this project on Monday, I think even if we're not completely done with this project, I'm probably going to move us on to the other the other viewer request project, which is the tongs. So I'm not seeing anybody specifically. Play in the Mud is doing pottery. Okay, let's raid Play in the Mud. Pottery is a great... I really love pottery. It's so much fun. Let's do that. Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for putting up with my growing pains with the new setup. I am so happy that you guys have joined me. And I will see you on Friday. Thank you all. You have been amazing. See you guys on Friday. Thank you all. All right. Stop streaming.